Alright, more maintenance on the Legacy. My front rotors are warped, so just gonna replace them today with some centric ones. And actually I have the centric cryo treated ones on the car right now, but for $60 less I just got the regular premium ones. So let's see what they look like. Okay, they look the same. Still black in the middle. Okay, so to get the rotors off, gotta get the caliper off. So there's two bolts here. I believe they are 14 mil. Just one on the back here too. And then gotta take off these 17 mil bolts to get the caliper bracket off as well. I don't know if you can see that big bolt right there. On the caliper bolts. Second bolt's out. And before I take your caliper off, just make sure you got a bungee cord so you can hook up the caliper to the spring. So you don't want it the caliper to hang on the brake line, because that could cause problems. You could break it too. It should just come off now. Actually, I'll put it on this other side here. And that should be okay. I'll take the pads out. And just show you guys, my pads are still pretty healthy. That's why I'm not replacing them today. Now I'm going to get those 17 mil bolts. It's a little tight with the ratchet. I might just start with the wrench. And I'm just using the dead blow on the wrench to help crack the nuts loose. Bracket bolt. And the bracket's off. Now sometimes the rotor comes off nice. If it gets stuck, you have to get, I forget what pitch these bolt holes are, but put some bolts in here and it kind of pushes the rotor away from the hub. But I think I put some anti-seize on this last time I installed them, so let's see. If not, I could just hit it. There you go, it's off. So I'll go ahead and put the new one on now. Okay guys, one thing to remember is that when you get new rotors, they have some type of oil or film on them for shipping, so you don't get any corrosion on them. So you're gonna have to get some brake cleaner and clean all that oil off before you install. So I just kind of soak them in and out. And then just wipe them off with a rag and then they'll be ready to install. Okay, just about ready to install. And while I have the pads out and stuff, I'm just gonna lube everything, some brake lubricant. I'm also gonna put a little bit on the hub here, so if the roller does need to come off, it should come off relatively easy again and not corrode on there. That should be good. And just put the rotor on. And now let's put the bracket back on. So I like to put the bolts in loose first, so it all lines up. And also, it's always good to check your pins, make sure they're sliding well. I just serviced these last year, so should still be good. Actually, this bottom pin is pretty seized. I'm actually going to take that out and clean it. So this is a good working pin. Goes up, in and out pretty good. And this one, not so much. You can spin it, which is good, but you can't take it in and out. So, pretty easy to come out. Push the boot back. You can see, yeah, there's some corrosion, some water got in there somehow. Just pull it out. So I've got the pin out. What I'm going to do is clean it with brake clean and then get all the corrosion off with emery cloth and put some brake lubricant on it. A little bit of emery cloth. So I'll just get a little bit off at a time. This is, if you have a wire wheel, like on a bench, it goes a lot quicker and a lot easier. And you get all the metal looking new and shiny again. A little brake lubricant on it. And I'll put it back in the bracket and I'll spin it as I'm putting it in so all the lubricant goes around really nice. Actually, still having problems, like there's something stuck in there, it feels like. Oh, there we go. And there we go. Push in, it comes out. And that's what you want your slide pins, or caliper sliders to do. So now, back to reassembly. And I'm not sure the torque spec on this, but I'll have to look it up later and torque them once it's all put together. But if you don't have a torque wrench or a torque specs handy, you want these pretty tight because this is where your brake's right on. double check, triple check everything. Good. Now put the pads back in. While I have them out, I'm gonna put some lubricant on them. Actually, so I prefer to put a little bit on the back here, where the pistons go on, and then put a little bit on the guides, or the area that they're gonna slide on. And just for good measure, a little bit here. Now, I'll put the caliper back on. Have to push the pins in a little bit. Oh, I forgot to take the bungee cord off. So, when you're putting the bolts for the caliper back in to the bracket, the pins might spin. So you can get a 15mm wrench to hold them. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. So again, just put them both in loose, then tighten them up. Again, you want these tight. Not too tight because they are a small bolt. And mine's spinning, so, oh, my mistake, it's actually 17 now. So just want to hold these together, spin it. But there you go. That's how you replace your front rotors and do a minor brake service.